that in the cart. Our Disney World vacation is just a few days away, and I am taking you along as I get every single thing ready before we leave. I am going to be going over our plans, my budget, and sharing one of my favorite tricks for earning free Disney gift cards. We're going to be running those last minute errands, placing my grocery delivery order for Disney, and tackling all those little details that us busy moms always seem to remember at the very last second. If you are new here, my name is Andrea. I am a very busy working mom who loves helping families like you plan memorable Disney vacations by just simply sharing our real experiences, all the honest reviews, and practical tips that make your trip feel just a little bit easier. So grab a beverage, get some caffeine in you, come prep for Disney with me, and let's get every single thing ready before we head to Walt Disney World. Before every single Disney World vacation, I always like to sit down and go over all the plans just one last time. It helps me make sure everything's exactly where it needs to be before we leave. And honestly, it gives me just so much peace, just knowing I'm not forgetting anything. Like, you know, the mom brain, like it's just kind of all over the place. But this trip is actually extra exciting because it's kicking off our brand new series here on the channel. Over the next several weeks, we're going to be putting some of Disney World's biggest family splurges and planning decisions to the test to help you decide what is actually worth your hard-earned money. And I know, you know, Disney vacations are just not cheap. They're a huge investment, and not every upgrade or extra experience is the right fit for every single family. So instead of just showing you our vacation, I really want to help answer some of those big planning questions that you might have. So throughout this series, we're sharing our honest experiences staying at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, which is my favorite moderate, using the Disney dining plan, experiencing Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. Yes, we're going back. We're dining at Akershus, Cinderella's Royal Table, and we're going to be going over some of Disney's optional add-ons too and seeing if it's truly worth the cost. But one thing I do want to mention is the Park Hopper. Since we have annual passes, Park Hopper is already included for us, so we aren't paying extra for that option for our trips. But I know that's a decision a lot of families have when they're planning their Disney World vacation. So we're intentionally planning both Park Hopper days and single park days, so we can show you what that experience actually looks like and help you decide if it's something your family would get enough value out of. So as for today, I'm just making sure all of our reservations are confirmed. Everything is linked correctly in the My Disney Experience app. If you've not downloaded that, we got to do that. We have our flights booked. Our stay at the Caribbean is confirmed, and our dining reservations are ready to go. And Annie is officially scheduled for Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, which she has been counting down the days and trying to decide what princess she's going to be. So I know reviewing reservations isn't the most exciting part of the vacation, right? But spending a few extra minutes doing this before you leave, it can save you instead of just looking over a few things. So it really helps the trip get off to a much smoother start instead of panicking because you accidentally forgot something. So now that all of our plans are set, it's time to move on to one of my favorite parts of getting ready for Disney is making sure our budget is ready too. They've got confetti cake or rainbow. Which one do you want? Which one did you get?
Confetti.
Confetti? Okay, put that in the cart. Yep, there you go. Before every Disney trip, we always have one big errand day. It's when we wrap up all of those last minute things before we leave. And honestly, it helps me feel so much more prepared because I know what I need to get and what I don't have. So our first stop is always Kroger because I like to pick up Disney gift cards before every vacation. It's one of my favorite budgeting strategies because it helps me separate our Disney spending from our everyday spending. I know exactly how much I've set aside for souvenirs, snacks, or anything extra that we've decided to do while we're there. And since I'm already shopping here before our trip, I'm also earning fuel points, which is another little bonus. It doesn't completely change the cost of the Disney vacation, but it's just one of those small savings that adds up over time and can contribute to our normal lifestyle. Another thing that I've been doing throughout the year is saving my Fetch reward points, redeeming them for Disney gift cards. It's definitely not paying for the entire trip, but every little bit helps. And I love finding simple ways to stretch out our Disney budget. While we are here, we always grab those last minute things that somehow never make it to my Amazon order. Things like snacks for the parks, electrolyte packets, sunscreen, medicine, or any travel essentials that we might run out of. I'd much rather grab them now than the higher prices once we get to Disney World. Our next stop, Dollar Tree. This has become one of Annie's favorite little traditions before we fly. I will let her pick out a few small activities for the plane, whether it's coloring books, activities, stickers, puzzles, little toys. It is such an inexpensive way to make travel a little bit more exciting for her. And because everything is brand new, it usually keeps her entertained a lot longer than the toys that she already has at home and would just pack it back up. Sometimes it's just simply the little things like that that makes a big difference on travel day. Now that we have our errands done, those last minute things that we might need, let's talk about grocery delivery to the resort. Now, grocery delivery to the resort is not necessarily just for saving money. It's for saving time and energy. I love being able to have things in the room ready to go, and we don't have to get our clothes on or get presentable to go down to quick service and get my daughter something, or if we're feeling a little snacky or want a specific drink, we don't have to get up and go somewhere on Disney World property. It's just right in our hands. Another way that grocery deliveries make life a little bit easier while you're at Disney World is, let's say in the morning, we are trying to hit that rope drop. You're trying to get your kids up. It's been an exhausting week so far. They didn't go to bed really early because they stayed up and watched the Happily Ever After fireworks last night, and you got in really, really late. We're trying to let them sleep as long as possible, and you've got to get ready. So we can let them sleep in just a little bit. We can wake them up while we are finishing getting ready. We can give them a small breakfast in bed. Another way that you could do it is just let them sleep in. Don't do breakfast in bed. Have a to-go breakfast. Get some fruits, some granola bars, some muffins, some Pop-Tarts, something that you can walk out of the room with, and it's saving on time and energy. And at Disney World, those are the most important things because you've got to stay hydrated, you've got to eat, and time is money while you're at Disney World. So having a grocery delivery such as Amazon or Walmart, it truly does make a huge difference in your experience at Disney World. So a few things that I love to put on my grocery list would be those quick breakfast items that your whole family can participate in and enjoy. Other things such as bottled water. Water in the parks is like $5 for just one Dasani. So it's a little bit easier if you're buying your own bottled water, keeping it cool in your beverage cooler, using it to bring into the parks to also stay cool as a cooling element. You can also get gallon-sized water, fill up your own water bottles that you can bring into the parks. So some options out there. One thing that we've also been doing recently is Annie has been begging for picnics. So we have been bringing in our soft lunchbox and then using those water bottles as a cooling element and bringing in things such as Lunchables or the Uncrustables, things that she can eat and enjoy while we are in the park, instead of using the quick services or eating foods that just simply don't make us feel good throughout the day. So that would be a really, really great budget saving tip. You can do things such as deli meats or even like some flavoring for your waters while you're in the park. It is an endless option. You have a little bit more options if you are staying in like a villa that has a full kitchen, but most of everybody is staying in a standard room with just a simple beverage cooler. Another option that Annie loves to have are yogurts, fruits, or even applesauce pouches. Again, going back to that save time, save energy, something that you can kind of get and go. And even some nighttime snacks that whenever you get back from the parks, you're just trying to get a little bit of a last minute energy, or you're craving a bit of something and you just want to snack on something. So chips, a little bit of a sweet tooth in there. You have so many options. And again, it is a lot more affordable. This isn't an entirely budget saving tip, but it's definitely saving you potentially on money, on your energy, and on your time. So what I love to do is prepare my grocery list, make sure that I'm putting everything on the list that every single family member would want, and putting it on here. Now, we are using the dining plan for this upcoming trip, and I'm still going to place an order simply for our waters or any type of snackety snacks that we want in the room. We are doing the quick service dining plan. So we get 2 quick services and a snack, plus we get the resort mugs. So that is really beneficial as well. So even with the dining plan, I still suggest doing a small grocery order for those in between places where people might get a little hungry. Or again, it is the summer months and you've got to stay hydrated and you've got to eat plenty. Now let's talk about what I feel like is one of the most important things for prepping our Disney World vacation. And it's something that you have to do days in advance before you leave for your trip. Now, you could be 7 days before your trip, or it could be 3 days before your trip, or maybe it's something that you don't find is worth the splurge, back to that series that we're on. So we are talking about none other than the lightning lanes. Our family does feel like it is worth the splurge for lightning lanes, but there are multiple ways to kind of fit this into your family budget. So for us, where we are staying at Disney's Caribbean Resort, which is a perk of spending that little extra money potentially staying on Disney World property, because if you are staying on Disney World property, you do have access of selecting your lightning lanes 7 days out before your arrival day. Now, if you are not staying on Disney World property, you get to select your lightning lanes 3 days before your arrival to Disney World. So again, back to that splurge. Is it truly worth the splurge staying on Disney World property? So we are actually 6 days away from our Disney World vacation, the day that this video is being recorded. So yesterday I got all of our lightning lanes. Now, back to that planning and like the park days and the park tickets, we are going to the parks only 2 days this trip, and we are going to be taking a rest day, kind of taking you guys along with us, a part of the Disney's Caribbean Beach, and whether or not it's worth not buying a park ticket or enjoying the resort. Now, I do love staying at the resort, but let's just stay on topic with the lightning lanes. So it really did work out that I only had to purchase 2 days worth of lightning lanes. Now, this is going to be something that you're probably going to have to math out, because if you're going to 2 parks, then you're going to have to be able to buy those park hopping tickets. If you're just going to be doing 1 park, then we're just going to be buying the single day pass. Now, you're going to have to work out the math. The reason why I said that is because for example, our first day we're going to Magic Kingdom, and I purchased the multi-pass, which is, if you all want a whole breakdown of lightning lanes, I have a video out there for you guys. So watch that at the end and I'll break down the multi-pass versus the single pass, etc. But I purchased the multi-pass and I purchased the single pass for our Magic Kingdom day. So we're going to be going into Magic Kingdom that day with 4 attractions on the Lightning Lane. We could have 5, but Tyler has opted out of riding Tron with us on this trip because Annie is so close to hitting that 48 height marker. So we're going to just sit back and wait to ride Tron until Annie hits that height requirement. So I got our lightning lanes yesterday. We're going to go in with 4 lightning lanes. You cannot, once that single pass is done, you can't get another one. But once you scan into that first attraction that is under the multi-pass, you can grab another attraction within Magic Kingdom, because remember, we're just going to be going to Magic Kingdom that day. Now, the next day is going to be our rest day, back to trying to figure out, is it worth saving the money from a park ticket and just enjoying your resort? And then our third day, we're going to be doing our park hopper. And we are going to be going into Epcot that morning and then Hollywood Studios that evening. The perk of having the park hopper ticket is that I only had to buy lightning lanes for one day. So I went ahead, got my multi-pass for Epcot. I got my single pass for Guardians that morning, and I also got my single pass for Rise of the Resistance that evening in Hollywood Studios. I got some good times, guys. Now, again, back to that multi-pass. When I scan into that multi-pass in Epcot, I can grab another attraction in Epcot, potentially, if that's what I want. Or I can switch my park to Hollywood Studios and start getting lightning lanes and stacking them of the evening time. So it's kind of going to be a balance for you guys. Let's say you do want a rest day and you are only there for 3 full days. Maybe this is going to be the setup for you. You're wanting to do potentially Animal Kingdom in the morning and Magic Kingdom in the evening, and you only have to buy lightning lanes for one day besides the single pass. I should just clarify, you only have to buy multi-passes for one day because you can switch that park over to the next. And plus, also, Animal Kingdom is typically, most of the time, kind of always, I just kind of want to put that disclaimer in there in case something radical happens, but Animal Kingdom is always cheaper than Magic Kingdom too. And the hours of Animal Kingdom are earlier in the day and they close early. So that's why I kind of switched to Animal Kingdom being the first park of the day. Plus it's more budget friendly. And then once you're done with all the attractions from a lightning lane perspective in Animal Kingdom, start stacking your Magic Kingdom ones and you don't have to pay an additional cost. So that would be a little hack for you. Now back to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. I went ahead and bought my single passes. You can buy a single pass in both parks. Like I did, I bought Guardians and I bought Rise of the Resistance and just the multi-pass. So again, if I'm done doing all of my Epcot attractions using lightning lanes that morning, then I'm going to switch my park and I'm going to go over to Hollywood Studios that we're going of the evening. Now, if I chose not to do a rest day, I wanted to do another park that day, that's going to be an additional park ticket and it's going to be an additional day of lightning lanes rather than just doing a park hopper for Epcot and Hollywood Studios. They're both on the Skyliner and then only having to pay for one lightning lane. That would be one option that you could work around, and or sometimes you can get in the My Disney Experience app if you're close enough to the date that you're arriving and kind of get an idea of what those prices are going to be if you're really trying to be budget friendly. So again, Animal Kingdom always going to be the most affordable from a lightning lane perspective. And then if you're kind of weighing the difference between all the other parks, you can get in there and kind of see which one's more affordable. And then again, switch over to that park once you're ready to park hop. But you do have to have a qualifying park ticket. There are differences between the park tickets. So you can do one ticket that is going to allow you to get in to one park and that's it. Or you can do the park hopper, I almost said park hopper plus, but that is also an option. The park hopper, that's going to allow you to go to multiple parks. I mean, heck, you could go to all 4 parks in one day if your family wanted to. That's an option. You can still adjust those parks in the My Disney Experience app to be able to go to those attractions. Now let's talk a little bit about rope drop strategy in addition to lightning lane. I'll try to kind of be in the middle of the road for those families that are choosing not to go with the lightning lanes, but I will use Epcot as an example. Now, Epcot has some amazing attractions that are all hard to get and they're going to have really, really long lines. So in the perspective of having the lightning lane, you've got Frozen, Remy's, and Test Track all in tier 1, and you can only choose one of those attractions for your first initial 3. Now, let's say that I want to get up, I'm ready to go, and I want to rope drop Epcot. Now, what rope drop is it's essentially just when the park opens. Like they used to, I don't think that they do have the actual rope anymore, but they literally used to have a rope that the cast members would hold. And then once it hit time, it would drop and then you would be able to fast walk to the attraction. I think they just kind of let you go and just kind of line up near the attraction that you're wanting to go to, and then they'll finally let you in to the queue. But that would also be another perk for staying on property because, again, back to those splurges, should I stay on Disney World property or not? Back to the splurge, like if I stay on Disney World property, I'm going to have access to these parks for early entry 30 minutes before the park actually opens to the park. So if you're trying to save on lightning lanes and you want to get into that park like ASAP and get on those attractions like ASAP Rocky, then you might want to have that early entry to where you can be allowed in for that 30 minutes before. So for early entry, you will have to have your Magic Band with you or your ticket, and there will be cast members lined up for you to be able to enter through that 30-minute mark. But again, like what would be that strategy for rope drop for whenever the park opens, whether you are staying on property or if you are not? So for us, I did get the lightning lane for Test Track, and then I simply just kind of asked Annie, my 5-year-old, if you've not met her yet. Annie is super, super fun, and she's so energetic and loves all the attractions. So if you are planning a Disney World vacation and you're trying to prepare your children for attractions and kind of have like a point of view, subscribe to the channel because Annie is so fantastic at taking you and your children along with a perspective of a kid of like, what's it going to feel like? What's it look like? And it's so kind. Like it just, even this morning, I woke up to like 3 messages on Instagram of people saying that their children just are so inspired by Annie and they're inspired to be brave by Annie. And so it's really, really awesome. So anyway, Annie, I do ask Annie her opinion a lot. So this would be something that you could do. You could put on some vlogs of us in the parks and see our family's dynamic and all these attractions and what the attractions look like and how our reactions are to see if it's something that, you know, would be really great fit for your family. But ultimately, hey, here's this is the attractions that you're presented with, and here's our options. What is your second favorite attraction? Like, what do you want to do? Now, so whenever I asked Annie, her second favorite was Frozen. Of course, because it is a tier 1. So I'm going to have to be working my fingers really, really hard for those lightning lanes that day. But a strategy, if we chose to rope drop, would be rope drop Frozen and then use my lightning lane for Test Track. And then fingers crossed, I would be able to get Remy's at a decent time. But where we're park hopping, I might be a little bit more limited because I'm going to want to start getting those Hollywood Studios attractions such as Tower of Terror. That one's her favorite. Maybe a Slinky Dog. That one would be kind of up in the air as well. So rope drop strategy I would say, if you're not going with lightning lane, go after your number 1 attraction. If you are doing lightning lanes, get your number 1, your favorite, or maybe the most popular attraction, Epcot. They're all very like Remy's, Frozen, and Test Track. They're all really, really hard to get. If I would to say what's the easiest tier 1 attraction at Epcot, I would probably say it's easiest to get Test Track. And I would say it's pretty even with Frozen and Remy's. So whatever strategy you want to do with that. But again, you want your top ones in your rope drop and you want your top one in your lightning lane. And again, my single pass is Guardian, so I didn't forget that one, but it's you can only lightning lane it once during a day. So just so you know. One thing that's helped me a lot over the years is not trying to tackle all of the laundry the day before we leave. And as a busy working mom, that just would never work for me. So instead, the week leading up to our trip, I try to make realistic commitments to myself. Maybe it's just one load of laundry a day. Maybe it's two if I have the time. The goal isn't to finish every single thing all at once. It's just to stay a little bit ahead every single day. So as I'm folding laundry, if I come across something I know I want to take to Disney, I will just set it aside instead of putting it in the drawer and then having to look all day the day I'm packing to find it again. It just saves me all kinds of time from having to dig back through the closets and all the dressers. And when it's time to pack, I just want it to be easy. By the end of the week, I usually have a small collection started for myself and Annie, and Tyler can do his own thing. But when it's time to film our pack with me and actually start packing everything, it's already together. And I can focus on putting the outfits together instead of searching the entire house because I've lost it or Annie's went and done something with it. So one of the biggest reasons I do this is because leaving our vacation, like I know we're eventually going to be coming home. I don't know about you, but like after a Disney World vacation, I almost feel like I need a vacation from my vacation. Like you're usually walking like 20,000 steps a day, getting up early, staying out late. And by the time we get home, like you're just stinking exhausted. So anything that I can do before we leave to make that transition back, it's completely worth it to me. The last thing I want to do is walk through the door, unpack the suitcases and tackle piles of laundry plus the laundry from the trip, and then just try to get our entire family's life back together before we head back to work. It's miserable. So Disney is so much fun, but coming home can honestly just be a little bit overwhelming. So if I can stay ahead of it now, it makes getting back into our normal routine just so much easier. Let's talk about our last minute things that we have to grab that we cannot forget before walking out the door. Let's do some check marks, guys. So I did bring my fanny pack in here, one of my fanny packs that I use and love for all of our Disney World trips. Now, first of all, let's just talk about the keys that we're going to be getting to the airport because we fly. Now, this is irrelevant if you drive, but the keys I will always put into my carry-on, like my actual bag that's going to be going underneath the seat. I do not put it in what I'm wearing. It's because I'm afraid that ins and outs of being a mom and trying to get the IDs and putting the tags in here for the stroller, that the keys are going to fall out somehow. So I always clip them, and you'll see on my pack with me that on my special perfect that I love my carry-on bag, but I'll clip it. There's a little special part in there that I clip my keys in there so they do not fall out even of that bag, and they'll stay housed for the entire week while we're at Disney. But a couple things to check mark off. I know we already did talk about the My Disney Experience app, but if you've not downloaded it, here's your last reminder. Download the My Disney Experience app. Make sure that all of your friends and family are on your My Disney Experience app and linked, and you're good to go, especially before you start getting those lightning lanes. But we are team Magic Band. We always use our Magic Bands because to me, especially as a mom, especially with the child coming with us, and she's 5 years old. She's going to be 6 in 2 months, which is super sad. But Annie's grown up at Disney World. Life is so much easier when she has her Magic Band. Now, there has been a couple times that we forgot the Magic Bands in the room after a nap. And it was just, honestly, I did not find that it was a seamless kind of transition. I had to have my phone a lot more than usual, which when I have the opportunity to put my phone down, because you're already in the My Disney Experience app anyway, doing mobile dinings and mobile orderings and the lightning lanes and all the things, like I want to put my phone down as much as I possibly can. So these just make life a little bit easier in my perspective. Now, another little nugget for you is if when you're going into the parks, scan. And I use my finger. It goes a lot faster than her remembering which finger that she used and having it placed correctly. I find that it's a lot easier if I use my finger. Now, you're not going to use your finger if you're scanning into a lightning lane attraction. You just boop and go on. If you're not using your bands, then you can simply use the ticket that is on your phone, which is fine. I just like those. Now, don't forget your IDs, especially if you are flying. We actually use our passports because we didn't want to spend the extra money on buying the real IDs. So we actually bring our passports. Don't forget your identifications, whatever ID that you need, make sure you're good to go. But I just simply keep our passports in this little folder, which I feel like is really convenient, especially when traveling, because you can just kind of go and put it in here and you can see that you have, like, at glance, you've got 3 and I've got everybody's ID. It also has a little place for cash. So I use that part for tipping our drivers or tipping Bell Services when we arrive. And then whenever the airline gives me my tickets for my baggage or for my stroller, I can just pop those in here rather than having to fight with my wallet. Now, talking about my wallet, I just have a simple wallet. Like, I feel like this is pretty easy, right? I can put it on my wrist, especially whenever I get there. I can take this out of this fanny pack. I can put it into my other fanny pack while going into the parks. Now, we do have the Magic Bands. I do have my debit card linked to my Magic Band through the My Disney Experience app, which also makes things a little bit easier. Now, you might be concerned, Andrea, oh my gosh, what if you lose your Magic Band? Somebody could charge things. No, they have to have a PIN. Like, each individual person has a PIN for the My Disney Experience app. So in order for you to be able to use my Magic Band, you also have to have my PIN to be able to charge to either you can charge to the room, and at the end of the week when you're checking out, they'll send like an invoice and go ahead and just take out all of the money. Or you can, if you're using your dining plan, boop, you just scan your Magic Band. Why can't I say Magic Band today? I'm the problem. And so you can just use your Magic Band. It's a little bit easier, especially if you're using the dining plan. You can boop and go on. Now, another upgrade that they have recently done, which is like way overdue, to be completely honest, is that you can have a gift card as a saved form of payment on the My Disney Experience app. And honestly, I don't even know what took them so long, but it's an option to have on there. So I've got my gift cards in here. I've got my debit cards in here, or any additional gift cards that I have, like, you know, like the Fetch Rewards thing, you know what I'm saying, that we talking about. I've got a Dutch Bros gift card. I've got a Dunkin' gift card, like all the things, guys. Like, it's super, super nice. I did have a Sephora gift card in here. Used it. Didn't take long. It was burning a hole in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going in there. I also have my chargers. This guy will go on, where's my phone? This guy just magnetizes to the back of my phone. So it's a little bit easier whenever I'm kind of walking around. I don't have to worry about the cord. I do have my fuel rod around here somewhere, which I do like when I'm at Disney World, because you can, if it loses charge, you can just swap it out and it's a fully charged charging device. Then I also have this guy, which is also a charger. So this could go into my camera. It can go in Annie's Nintendo Switch to charge it. It can go into our fans to charge. Really anything, because it has so many different little inputs around here. But I do rarely use this for my phone, just simply because I like the magnetized or the no strings attached thing. But yeah, don't forget a charger. And because we are in the Disney pin moments, guys, y'all know me, pins, of course, we do have to carry our pins. Like, if you're Disney pin people, don't put them in your check-in, because whenever you arrive to Disney, you're going to come across a cast member that's going to have some Disney pins that your child is going to want to trade with, and they don't have their pins with them. Just bring their little pins. I use Annie's little pouch. If you don't know our little setup, this pouch goes with us, and one side of this little pouch has pins that Annie is allowed to trade. We'll go there with like our doubles and our triples and our quadruples. Annie knows one side is good to go for trading. The other side are things that we've captured that day and that we need to bring back to the room and go ahead and put it in our folder or our binder. So it kind of keeps them separate and transitional, so Annie doesn't give away a pin that we actually needed, right? And then I also went ahead and brought in our meds packing cube because it is so important that if you do have or rely on certain medications, to make sure that they're near and dear to you. So don't walk out of the house without your medications. Now, I do have a lot of supplements in this meds packing cube that we absolutely love, but we take them that day. So again, I don't want to forget them once I took them that morning and then heading out the door, right? So don't forget those. Any type of medication that you truly do need with you, then don't put it in your check-in. Make sure that that is with you in your carry-on or on your persons, just in case something horrific happens to your check-in, that you'll have all of that stuff with you and you don't have to worry about it if you're in air or when you arrive. All right, I think that's everything. It truly always amazes me how much preparation goes into a Disney World vacation before we even leave the house. But taking time to get organized now always makes our trip and coming back home a whole lot easier. I get it. So I hope this video gave you a few ideas on your own Disney vacation planning. And if it did, I'd love to know down in the comments, what is one thing you never forget to do before a Disney World trip? Like, what is living rent-free in your brain? I always love hearing you guys talk and hearing all your tips and tricks because it's best to learn from each other. And if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, because next week we're diving into one of my favorite parks, our pack with me for Disney World. I'll be showing you exactly how I pack for our family, how I organize everything for our outfits, for our family, for living, to make your trip a little bit more smoother. So thank you so much for spending a part of your day with me. I hope that you're having a wonderful week so far, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.
Magic comes from the inside. Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic?